All right, well, thank you guys for being here on this lovely rainy afternoon. This particular subject is not controversial, even though it looks like I have my bodyguard with me. This is a bipartisan bill. We just had Democratic support sign on this morning, and really common sense legislation. One of the things that came out of our process this year, where we went around the state and talked to citizens, was this common theme of, really government just does too much. Government gets involved in too many of the things that they ought not get involved in. We want government to be limited, small, and do the things government is supposed to do. And that's really the genesis of this bill, the Broadband Investment Equity Act. And that is to say that the private sector businesses, the private sector workers, the private sector economy is handling this exceptionally well, can continue to handle this exceptionally well. And what they don't need is for a governmental entity to come in and compete with them where these type of services already exist, and particularly compete with them sometimes when they don't have to play by the same rules. And that's really what this says, is that we're not outlawing a local government entity doing this, but if they're going to compete, they need to play by the same rules, and they need to go to the voters and ask the voters if it's okay that they spend all these dollars before they go out and spend them. And of course, we have, this state, it has example after example after example where the government forays into this area have just not worked out. And unfortunately, it has cost taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. We've got, of course, Tifton that had a serious problem. I believe they still have city debt because of the system they set up. City of Marietta, where I grew up, $24 million they lost after they sold FiberNet, recognizing that it was a terrible decision. The city of Ackworth, of course, had CableNet, and they lost millions and millions of dollars. So we've seen this play out time and time again. And all we're saying is that if the city is going to take that step and engage in offering broadband services, that they need to do so on the exact same rules and the same playing field as the private sector. And they need to go to the voters and ask the voters if it's okay that we spend these millions of dollars to begin doing this. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.